Good morning. I hope your Sunday is going to be a great one. I know mine is. It's going to be full of all kinds of interesting things today. Can't wait to see. I was thinking through John 10 and John 11. John 10 is John 10:10 is one of my favorite verses. It talks about the reality that Jesus came to give us something much more. He said, "I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly." And as he goes down through the chapter, it goes from that idea to something more intense, because at the end of chapter 10, it said that they were trying to lay hands on him, in other words, to kill him, and he eluded the Jewish Pharisees. So then he finishes chapter 10 with that idea. So imagine you just walked in the living room for the day, and you finished your day. The last thing was that your community was trying to kill you. That's where he was, and he came in the living room. And then you start in chapter 11, and they turn out that there was a sick man that starts chapter 11 of John, and his name was Lazarus, who was a friend of Jesus. And so Jesus had told the disciples that this sickness wouldn't end in death, is what he told them. And then he goes on and said that it would come to the glory of God. And so he goes to, he waits a couple of days to the fourth day, because the thought was that, you weren't really dead till you're in the grave 3 days. And so he waited till the fourth day. There'd be some disgusting things starting to go on in the grave, in the tomb. And that's why he waited. And so he makes the journey back from the safe place he had been hiding, back over to where Lazarus was, close to where they had just tried to kill him. And as he's getting ready to make that journey, in verse 16, doubting Thomas said to the fellow disciples, "Let us also go so that we may die with him." So he just almost been killed the day before. And the disciples, who think, I hope this is the Messiah, are I don't know if he said it tongue in cheek, if he said it sarcastically, if he said it genuinely. You can't tell in writing. But they're literally thinking they're going back to die themselves. Here they're going to a dead man. They're walking with Jesus to a dead man who's been dead for 4 days. And they're thinking, we are going to join Lazarus. I don't know if you've ever heard that picture of it before, but that's what they're thinking. And so as he gets his way back there, Martha, the one who couldn't sit down and relax at the first time they hung out, and was lecturing Jesus on what to tell Mary, Martha meets him, and she begins to say, if he'd been here, he wouldn't have died, and on and on. And it is kind of a intense setting there, and they had professional grievers that were grieving there, and it goes on where Jesus had that famous verse where Jesus wept. And I just wonder, as I think about that and see what's getting ready to happen, the Jews later on will point out that even if he's Messiah, it says he'll live forever, so he can't. If he's not Messiah, he's going to, die, and he won't live forever, so it'll prove he's not Messiah. And all of this fits together where I think what Jesus wept about was that people in general could not understand that his mission was not about the physical realm. His mission was about the spiritual realm, so that people might have life and have it more abundantly, not just the 70 or 80 years on this planet, but for eternity, is what he's saying. So what I think these verses and these chapters are saying, can you please see life in the invisible realm? Because Jesus was on his way to die himself so that you and I might have life. And as he's journeying, people are freaking out because Lazarus' body had quit working. But he says in these verses that if you believe, you'll never die. And Lazarus would never die. His body died, but that's not who Lazarus is. And so he wept, I believe, because he had to bring him back from the presence of God. Absent from the body is present with God. He had to bring him back from the presence of God and put him back in a broken body so that he might live a few more years in that broken body versus living in an eternity in the presence of God with no more of a broken body. That's why I believe Jesus cried. But as he's looking around, he had to be kind of wondering, these are the people that know me the very best, and they haven't really figured out that I'm not talking about a physical realm. I'm talking about this invisible spiritual realm that is the essence of where life is, and that's the essence of who you are as an individual. So there you have it. I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. And Jesus not only said it, he lived it out in front of his friends, Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, and the disciples. And he was preparing himself for the day that he would give up his body so that he might go be back with the Father. Hope you guys have a great Sunday. See ya.